All set? Okay. Welcome back, folks. I am Jon Najarian, and this will be 3 at 3 from the live trading conference down here. Let's get started with unusual option activity. As you know, we look for unusual patterns in call buying or put buying to define that as unusual activity. And this was unusual today because Pete, they finally got a new picture of you on the halftime report. For some reason, Pete and Kevin O'Leary, both down here in Florida, have had connection issues, would you say, Pete? So Pete was talking about McCormick, the spice company, and shares were 89.45, as you see here on the screen. You also see that they were buying the 100 strike calls. And as you know, I don't like to buy out of the money calls. I like to sell them. So I was buying the 90s and selling upside calls against them. 1-to-1. I'm not ratio spreading those. I'm just doing them 1-to-1. And these are January options. So they are basically 5 full weeks out into the future. So that's the first of today's 3 at 3. The second is Costco. Wow. What a move out of Costco. I see some happy folks in the audience that had some of the Costco. When Pete was on, it was $554.76, only up $30. What is it up now, Costco? Wayne's checking out Costco. 560.41. So it's another $6 from when Pete was talking about it here on CNBC. They're buying the December 550 calls. Be very aware, these calls expire next week. They're the regular December 550 calls. They are now, as you just heard me say, $10 in the money. And the stock was up 47%, now probably up roughly 48.5 to 49% as we speak. So that was the second of today's 3 at 3. Remember, as I've stressed to our friends in the room here, the reason that I generally don't leg into these trades is because on a short time frame like this, where we've only got 1 week, I want to put on a 1-to-1 spread immediately rather than buy it and then wait for a run and then sell it later, which I normally would do if we had, for instance, 3 weeks or more. When we're in those final 2 weeks, the decay curve is so severe that I want to impact that as best I can. So that's what we're talking about here. Putting on the spread 1-to-1. Luckily, though, our spread is 555 to 565, like $10 wide spread 1-to-1. And obviously now it's already $5 in the money because the stock rallied $6. Pete was on. The third, ABBV. This is one that right as we were working here with the group, Wayne and Ryan saw this one and posted it up. These are the 150 calls. They expire next week. So again, very short leash on these because the time decay will be somewhat extreme. So stock was 125. They're buying the 150s, $25 out of the money. I bet you already know what I'm going to say. I don't buy those. I buy the activity. I like following the activity. I don't like buying a $25 out of the money call, even though, as again, you guys all know, one of the reasons you might buy a $25 out of the money call is it's really easy to get a $25 out of the money call to double. If you get it just a quick little pop to the upside, that call can double. You go from 30 cents to 60 cents a lot easier than buying a 125 call and getting a double out of that. But I am playing or the odds moved into my favor. So I buy the 125s and sell the 130s or 135s, I forget which, against it, 1-to-1, with the same expiration, same time frame that the other folks are doing. All right. Don't miss the live stream, like all of these lucky folks here today. What? Hey, Jay, yeah. Is that why you couldn't be on halftime? Would you like to sleep? That was brutal. You know what? Sully was probably jealous. Sully was jealous. He'll be on 5 as well with me tonight. That'll be fun. Kevin O'Leary, shirtless. They're kidding, Kevin. We want to see you at dinner tonight. We want to see you at dinner tonight and or the boat trip tomorrow. But maybe Kevin keeps himself in good shape. All right. You want to be part of the live stream? Well, if you don't want to watch this after the market closes, you've got to subscribe to one of the 3 unusual option activity or UOA services. So you go to marketrebellion.com/UOA live, or if you'd like to talk to a real person, you can dial 888-809-8058. That's 888-809-8058. You get live webinars, weekly trade ideas, trading communities, all that fun stuff. All right, let's get on to the questions, and we'll get them in somewhat rapid fire fashion here. You can shoot them into me on Twitter at Jon Najarian. First one, RVLV, Anthony, and his handle is at ABMan5400. And he says, okay, RVLV, please hold, sell, or buy more. Well, Anthony, I've got nothing against the company, but let me show you something you might not be aware of. But the last time we put it up for unusual activity was in July, when it was 64 bucks. Guess where it is today? 64 bucks. Now, it did make a big run, though. I own it. You know, I own it. I sell posting every month. I've owned it for about 2 years. My daughter turned me on to it, Revolve. But like you said, with no movement, it's selling calls. All right. So there you heard Pete talking about it. Pete was saying, in case you guys couldn't hear it on audio, that his daughter turned him onto the stock. He still owns it, and he writes calls against it. And as you see, we've had both bullish call buying and put buying. And the stock with the bullish call buying back in May was 47. Then it was 57. Then it was 64. Then it fluttered for a bit, went higher, and it's come all the way back down. You'll look at it on the charts, folks. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right. Second question. Who wants to take a shot? The young lady in the first row, do you want to take a shot at how you would pronounce this name? Ms. Maxwell's name? Ghislaine, did you say? Or Jelaine? Elaine? I have no idea. I do know she's got that trial going on. Ghislaine. Okay, Ghislaine. Again, I have no idea. I don't even know why I'm not going to say it, but she's a blank coin who's from the @IICO channel wants to know, but we are uncertain how to pronounce Ghislaine. So we'll just leave it at that. And third and final, Vix, Dirty 30, whose handle is @Dirty TH758. 2376. It's Amber Ross Sorkin, apparently, or somebody that just lifted Sorkin's visage and didn't do a very flattering picture of him to create their avatar, because Sork with his mouth open is probably not his favorite shot. Anyway, he says, how do you short a VIX future? Easy. Call your broker and you say, sold VIX future, because you can. They actually trade. There's volume on all the VIX futures. You can, of course, trade the exchange traded notes. Most of them are ETNs that track the VIX. But if you want to short a VIX future, just like buying a VIX future, you can do that. And keep in mind that the spot VIX and the price of the futures are vastly different. Right now, the futures are in the mid-20s, and the spot shot up to 35 last week, came back down a fair amount, but nonetheless, the VIX futures out there all the way till August barely budged. They eased to the downside, but they didn't go jumping up when the spot VIX jumped to 35. And the reason for it is pretty self-explanatory. Those are future prices. They don't think that it sustains a 35 VIX like the spot hit last week. That's going to do it for us today, folks. From down here in Miami, if you'd like to check out Market Rebellion, go to marketrebellion.com/get started. There you'll have to put my lights up. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody. All of you guys, great weekend. Thanks for joining us today, folks. I hope you have a great one, and we'll see you Monday. Bang. Awesome.